It's week number 2 for Texas Tech football without former head coach Matt Wells leading the team, but his firing is still making headlines in Lubbock and beyond. Coming up, MCTV's MaKayla Glenn spoke to a local sports broadcaster to get his take on what's next for the Red Raiders.
A different group of Texas Tech athletes put on their boots, spurs, and cowboy hats as they competed for top prize at one of the nation's largest collegiate events last week. MCTV's Patricia Perry has a special look at the 2021 edition of the Texas Tech Rodeo.
And Halloween weekend was a busy time here on Tech campus, with several events for both students and the local community. MCTV's Gemma Williamson and Bryce Barrett headed out across campus to capture the sights and sounds of 2 of the last of this year's spooky-themed events.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm MaKayla Glenn.
And I'm Noah Crayton. Texas Tech football is preparing for their second to last home game of the fall after spending more than a week making headlines around the nation.
That's right, Noah. The rumors of Matt Wells being fired became reality last Monday, and the Texas Tech football team has lost another head coach, this time only 8 games into the season. Many people have their opinions about Wells, but fans still hope for success before the end of the season. Pete Christie, sports director at KCBD News Channel 11, says Wells' firing in the middle of the season might have been surprising, but there was plenty of reason for change.
Well, I just, unfortunately, it's part of the business. I just think it was time. He made a lot of bonehead moves throughout the last few years, kicking a field goal on 3rd down, running on 3rd and 9. And then just the 2 losses before this Kansas State loss were just really unacceptable, losing to Texas and TCU as if they weren't ready. And so I think you stack up everything, and people might say, oh, he got fired because of Kansas State, but it's the whole body of work. He had 30 games, and he went 13-17, 7-16 in the conference. It just doesn't cut it when Kirby Hocutt threw the word elite around. There's nothing elite about that.
With Sonny Cumbie stepping in as interim coach, Texas Tech football will now be forced to pivot to a new game plan for next season.
When you fire someone, what are you going to do? Are you going to take a step back? There are those people even 10 years later saying, let's bring Mike Leach back to fix the curse. But I think they're going to look at the Texas San Antonio coach, Jeff Traylor. I don't know if that's going to excite people. Sonny Cumbie obviously gets a champ, but Sonny Dykes at SMU, he's got a team that's undefeated. Of course, the Spike Dykes tie. So I don't know.
Many students have formed their opinions about Wells being fired, but most agree it was time for new leadership.
Well, I think that there was an inevitable need for change in regards to the football team and the way that they're being coached. It'll be interesting to see who they have to replace him.
I don't think he deserves to be here. If you look at the recruiting rankings, they weren't really that good for a Texas school, and the lifeblood of any program is recruiting. And it's just we were getting 3-star guys, 4-star guys, which that's good, but we need better talent.
Christie says regardless of Wells' performance as coach, people should remember he's human.
He didn't get it done as a coach. They had all these goals they wanted to obtain. They didn't. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Matt Wells is a good man, a good father, a good husband. His kids are in school here, and I just hope those people hiding behind their keyboards think of that. I know you're disappointed he didn't get it done as a coach, but he's still a good man. He's got a family. Let him move on and let us move on. You don't have to rip the guy.
Texas Tech's coaching search is expected to continue until at least the end of the regular season, and the team is still hoping for one more win to continue into postseason play. The team returns to action next Saturday, November 13th at the Jones against Iowa State.
Thanksgiving is exactly 3 weeks away, and many students will be heading home for the holiday. With that in mind, one campus group held a special event to make sure students' vehicles were in top shape before hitting the road. Yesterday, Transportation and Parking Services hosted their once-a-semester car care clinic in the Commuter West parking lot. During the event, professional mechanics were on hand to check out students, faculty, and staff members' vehicles and alert drivers of any issues that may need repair. Brandon Richard, Media Relations Coordinator for TPS, said it's important to get your car checked out before taking a long holiday trip to avoid getting stuck on the side of the road waiting for help.
If I'm on the highway and driving and I hear something like clicking or making weird noises, I don't know what that is. Or battery going dead or anything like that. I don't know what I'm doing necessarily all the time, and I don't want to get stranded.
Along with looking for maintenance issues, mechanics at yesterday's clinic also checked tires and topped off fluids for free. If you weren't able to make yesterday's car care clinic, Richard recommends stopping off at one of Lubbock's many mechanic shops to get your car checked before going home for the holidays.
During the last few weeks, students in one media and communication course have been getting some real-world experience while supporting a good cause. And yesterday, one group from the class took advantage of the cold weather by encouraging people to grab a warm drink and help out the local community. On Wednesday, advertising campaign students hosted a Give Back event at Hebrew's Coffee Shop located in Hodges Park. Brew It for the Kids took place throughout the day, with all money raised going to help families through Lubbock's Ronald McDonald House. The students in the ad campaign class spent the last 2 months planning, organizing, and publicizing yesterday's event, giving them an idea of what their future will look like after college.
This is the biggest event that I've been a part of planning, and I think event planning is a big part of advertising, obviously. So I think this is giving me a lot of insight into what I could be doing in the future in my career.
The Brew It for the Kids Give Back was the last event hosted by this semester's advertising campaign class. But you can donate money or even your time to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Southwest through the year. Just visit rmhcsouthwest.com for more information.
Over the weekend, the university's event calendar was packed, with many options focused on Halloween. But there was also one Texas Tech competition taking place a few miles south of campus that just happened to be the largest of its kind in the United States. MCTV's Patricia Perry headed down Interstate 27 to find out more.
I'm out here at Cook's Garage for the Texas Tech Rodeo. The Texas Tech Rodeo team has been preparing this event for weeks. This event is free and open to the public, where these students get to showcase their talents here tonight.
The Texas Tech Rodeo is the largest collegiate rodeo in the United States. Students and community members attended the rodeo last weekend because they say there isn't another environment like one at a rodeo.
I just like the atmosphere. I grew up around it, and so it just makes me feel like I'm at home, and it feels really good.
For Kemp, a rodeo reminds her of home. Some never get to experience what a rodeo is like. Briar Winder said she has been wanting to attend a rodeo but hasn't had the right opportunity. Winder is glad the Texas Tech Rodeo team hosted this so she was able to get this experience.
I'm a senior and I was trying to get out to a rodeo and Lubbock.
Who's ready on the first day night?
My friend was like, let's go.
Oh, I can feel it. And what an honor it is to be here.
Many say the energy at a rodeo is unmatched. Winder shares why there is no place like a rodeo.
Who is our title sponsors this year, bringing us our great rodeo? How about Cook's Garage bringing
The Texas Tech Rodeo had a huge weekend planned with bull riding, barrel racing, team roping, bronc riding, steer wrestling, concerts, food trucks, and much more. All proceeds from the rodeo go to Texas Tech Rodeo. For MCTV, I'm Patricia Perry.
Students heading to campus the last few days had to dig into their closets and pull out heavy coats and jackets after a cold front hit the South Plains earlier this week.
That's true, MaKayla. After weeks of highs ranging from 60s to 90s, temperatures only made it into the 40s the last 2 days. So will the cooler conditions be sticking around as we head into the first weekend of November? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing bright and sunny skies for the first time since Monday evening. Temperatures have also started to warm up today, with highs expected to climb into the mid-60s before sunset. But tonight, temperatures are expected to drop once again, and this time we may actually see lows in the 30s. As of this morning, the Lubbock area has still not experienced the first freeze of the fall, but there's another chance to drop down into the freezing mark early tomorrow morning. After today, a warming trend will continue into the weekend, with highs climbing back into the 70s tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be even warmer on Saturday and Sunday, with highs reaching near 80 degrees by Sunday evening. Lows should stay at above the 40-degree mark, with little to no chance of freeze this weekend. Looking ahead, even warmer temperatures are in the forecast to start next week, but a cold front should drop highs back into the 60s by midweek.
Halloween may have already come and gone, but not before Texas Tech students had a chance to share some ghoulish fun with the local community. MCTV's Jama Williamson has a look at one of the last spooky activities here on campus that left some young Red Raiders with more treats than tricks.
It's really amazing to see all that Texas Tech Panhellenic does not only for their students, but for the Lubbock community as a whole. This year, they have over 50 booths set up so that the local children are able to come out, dress up, and get some candy. On Sunday, the Texas Tech University Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life hosted their annual trick-or-treat on Greek Street for Halloween. Local children were able to come to Greek Circle where booths were set up in front of every house giving out candy. Giselle Reyes, a student assistant at FSL, says that this event is a great way to give back to the community.
We organize trick-or-treat on Greek Street every year so the children in Lubbock can come and get to know the Greek community in a fun way.
Local families came out to Greek Circle for some midday Halloween festivities. Greek members set up around 2 o'clock to hand out goodies.
We're here today at Trick or Treat on Greek Street, and this is an event they hold annually, and it's just a good way to get the community together and have the kids come to a safe place to get trick or treat candy.
And we've had a great turnout. We had to go get a lot more candy, so it's been great, and we've seen lots of really awesome costumes.
Sunday's activity was one of many events that FSL hosts throughout the semester. Reyes says that the group is already planning their next big event for this month.
One of our big upcoming events that we have, it actually starts November 8th, is a Mental Health Week. So we're going to be tabling at the Sub all week long, and we just want to bring awareness to mental health.
For more information on the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, visit fsl.ttu.edu. For MCTV, I am Jama Williamson.
There's just over 1 month left in the fall semester, and that means championship season is about to kick into full gear for Tech athletes.
MCTV Sports' Austin Seat joins us now with a look at one team who is already one win closer to a title, and a couple others who are hoping for a chance to continue into postseason play. Austin?
Thanks, MaKayla and Noah. With only a few weeks left for the fall sports, many of Tech athletic teams are getting ready to finish their season out strong. And while one season comes to an end, another season is only just beginning. To start off, we have the Red Raiders soccer team getting ready to face TCU in the Big 12 Championship Tournament later today after a thrilling penalty shootout with Oklahoma State last week. The number 5 seeded Texas Tech soccer team, currently 11-5-3, advanced to the Big 12 semifinals in a penalty kick shootout over number 4 seeded Oklahoma State Sunday afternoon at the Round Rock Multipurpose Complex. After a 0-0 game following 2 sudden death overtime periods, the Red Raiders advanced via a 5-4 score in penalties. It's the first time since 2019 that the Red Raiders won in penalty kicks. Texas Tech and Oklahoma State battled to a scoreless half, but the Red Raiders had more of the better chances, recording 6 shots with 3 on goal, compared to OSU's 3 shots with only 1 on goal. Macy Blackburn gave Tech its first shot on goal in the 4th minute, while the other shots were registered by Charlotte Teeter in the 35th minute and Marissa Ling 4 minutes later. The Red Raiders launched 8 shots in the second half as 4 came on the goal and then went on to register 1 shot apiece in the overtime periods. Heading into the penalty shootout, Tech made its first 4 shots, but both teams would miss the mark on the next 2 attempts. After Jordy Harr converted her shot, Madison White came up with the outstretched hand save under the crossbar to send the Red Raiders on to the next round. Texas Tech outshot OSU 16-11, launching 7 on frame. Jen Rose and Charlie Teeter led the way, recording 3 shots apiece. White finished the contest securing 3 saves. Texas Tech will now face the top-seeded TCU Horned Frogs for their semifinal match later today at 4:30 p.m. in Round Rock. Coverage of the game will be on ESPN+. Moving over to the court, the Red Raider volleyball team will be returning to the USA after a heartbreaking loss to the Kansas State Wildcats in Manhattan. However, the Red Raiders didn't go quietly. After a close loss in the first match, losing 3-2, Tech hoped to rebound in Game 2, but it wasn't enough. Kenna Sawyer paced the Red Raiders with 17 kills and 19 digs for her 9th double-double of the season. Reagan Cooper also recorded double-digit kills with 14 on a 2-6-3 hitting clip. Reese Rhodes posted her first double-double of the season with a season-high 40 assists and 11 digs. Alex Torres collected a season-best 17 digs, and Carrington Jones' 6 blocks led the squad. After trading points to start the opening frame, the Red Raiders used a 5-1 run to pull in front, 14-11. With Tech ahead by 2 at the media timeout, K-State rallied to win 5 of the next 7 points, tying the set at 18. Back-to-back Red Raider points brought Tech to the 20-point mark, and Maddie O'Brien extended the lead to 21-18 with an ace. Caitlin Dugan gave the Red Raiders set point with a kill, and a Wildcat attack error ended the set as Tech took the opening frame 25-21. K-State responded with a win in the second set to tie the match at 1 unset apiece. In the third set, the Red Raiders had the early momentum up 6-2 when K-State decided to take a timeout. Out of the break, the Wildcats used a 6-point swing to go ahead by 2 points as Tech took a timeout of their own. The K-State run continued before the Red Raiders broke it up with a block from Dugan and Jones. Tech tied the match at 10, and the two sides traded points until a K-State run gave the Wildcats a 17-14 advantage. The Wildcats would not surrender the lead, taking the third set 25-19. Kansas State closed out the match with a 25-19 four-set win for their 5th straight victory over the Red Raiders. Texas Tech returns home for a pair of matches against TCU tomorrow and Saturday at the United Supermarkets Arena. Both games will start at 6 p.m. and coverage of the game will be on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Men's basketball is almost here, folks. With only 5 days left until the start of the season, many Tech fans can't wait to see what new head coach Mark Adams will do in his debut. Men's basketball has already gone through a pair of secret scrimmages, reportedly against Wichita State and New Mexico State, which allowed the coaching staff to acquire some learning lessons for their players. After seeing several weaknesses exposed, head coach Mark Adams feels like his squad is poised to start the regular season in less than a week. The Red Raiders are scheduled to face off against the Ospreys of North Florida at 7 p.m. on Tuesday inside the United Supermarkets Arena. Coverage of the game can be found on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Well, that is all for sports. Back to you, MaKayla and Noah.
Thanks, Austin. Halloween weekend included a lot of different options for Texas Tech students, including one last-minute event that gave some Red Raiders a chance to show off their athletic skills.
MCTV's Bryce Barrett stopped by Texas Tech Rec Center to bring us the sights and sounds of an intramural tournament that made some students feel like they were back in grade school.
On this Halloween evening, many students have come out, in costumes and all, to try their hand at the Flash Dodgeball Tournament put on by Texas Tech Rec Sports.
It was really fun. I'd honestly come back and do some more intramural sports like this sometime soon. I liked it a lot.
Students gathered on Sunday at the indoor soccer field inside the rec center to participate in a Flash Dodgeball Tournament. Brittany Hemersky, coordinator of sports programs for Rec Sports, said that this is not the first time a Flash event has been held during a holiday.
So we've actually done a Halloween dodgeball in the past, a tournament in the past, but it's mostly just a way to come out. Students have another option to do. They can participate in intramural sports without the commitment of playing a 4-week season or having a tournament or whatever the situation is.
Students formed teams to participate in the tournament, some even coming in their Halloween costumes.
I found out, I saw the signs at the rec when I was working out, and I'm like, hey, that looks fun. I'll go to that. Figured I'd go in full costume too. Thought it'd just be more fun, you know. It's Halloween, might as well.
Even students who haven't played dodgeball in years came out to participate. Alejandro Navarez heard about the event from the captain of Team A Mendoza and decided to give it a shot.
He actually told me about it, and he's like, hey, I'd really like it if you came out and be a part of my team. And I was like, dodgeball, I haven't played that since high school, but yeah, we'll go ahead and try it.
Hemersky hopes that the Flash series of events will fill the social gap left by COVID-19.
I know the social aspect was just missing throughout last year, and so we're hoping we can just kind of restart that, help students find a connection on campus, something that they enjoy doing, and we find that it helps with just students stay connected to Texas Tech.
If you want to participate in Flash events like the Halloween Dodgeball Tournament, visit recsports.ttu.edu or send an email to intramurals@ttu.edu. For MCTV, I'm Bryce Barrett.
So MaKayla, did you make it out to any Halloween events over the weekend?
Yes, I did. I had a pretty eventful Halloween. What about you?
I did too. We had a party at our place and it was very, very fun, honestly. And that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.